we get this point we need to epsilon of sigma. So instead of tangent model, here we will be giving strain at this data, stress at this data, this point, this point, this point. The stress strain data at this various point we will give. So automatically we will get a multiple straight lines. This is also known as multilinear curves. Okay. So we here instead of tangent modulus, we will be giving stress strain data. Coming to more on material nonlinearity, metal plasticity deals with elastic and inelastic deformation. Inelastic or plastic deformation occurs when the stress is higher than the yield. Okay, when stress is higher than the yield strength. So when the stresses are, when you try to apply load and stresses are above the yield strength, we will get a plastic deformation. There will be always some recoverable strain upon unloading. Okay. So when you try to unload a component, if it is below the yield strength, the stress and strains will be recoverable. If it is above the yield strength, only partial strains will be recoverable. So two stress and strain data should be supplied for material data. Stress strain curve can be represented by a bilinear or multilinear curve. Bilinear Young's modulus and Poisson's ratio are also required for the material nonlinearity analysis. So that's what we discussed here. So when one of the important thing is you need to understand, when you try to do analysis, we need to understand when to use material curve or material nonlinearity, when to use regular material. So when you try to apply a load on any particular component, if it is an operating load, that means regular operating. So usually any component we design for a load design it for the elastic condition only. Suppose component is subjected to a operating load of say some 100 kilonewtons or 100 kilonewtons. So when you apply 100 kilonewtons on a component which is in structural analysis, which is strength. Okay, it should not cross the yield strength. That if it crosses the yield strength, then our design is not a valid design. So we need to update the design. Okay. So for those conditions, we need to use linear properties. So when then the question comes when we need to use nonlinear. The nonlinear condition can be used when a component is subjected to ultimate loads. Okay. So ultimate loads is once in a while it may happen. Okay. Suppose for example if we take the aeroplane engines, typically these aero engines are subjected to ultimate loads such as fan blade out. Okay. Okay. Suppose because of various issues, if a blade liberates from the rotor, that will cause a lot of imbalances. So during that condition, we need to supply this material non-linearly. So it is very important. You need to understand when to use linear properties and when to use non-linear properties. Even if non-linear properties and you solve the model, which is subjected to a load which causes elastic analysis, it won't take usage of this non-linear properties. Okay. So only the wastage of time is extracting the non-linear properties. So getting the non-linear properties, material properties is not an easy task. It requires a lot of material testing and all those things. Generally, we have some non-linear materials available in public domain as well. But in general, if you take a specific component, getting those properties is not an easy task. Okay, so you guys need to understand when to use linear analysis, when to use non-linear analysis, when it is subjected to different types of loads. So today I would like to stop here because only one college is attending. Maybe tomorrow we'll have a session. Any questions? I hope only one college is there. Oh, Venkateshwar also joined. Okay. So any questions today? I'll stop here because most of the colleges did not attend. So we'll continue tomorrow. If you don't have questions, then we'll stop here. So any questions? Or shall we log off? Okay. Have a nice day. We'll try to have a session tomorrow also.